Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are plunging into a really fascinating ancient text, specifically the conquest of Ai described in the book of Joshua.
Right.
We're looking at what is, it's often cited as one of the most brilliant and complex military ambushes ever recorded.
And what's so interesting to me is that the sources immediately frame this military genius with, well, some pretty profound theological reflection.
So it's not just a battle report.
Not at all. We're exploring why this very calculated victory is seen as proof of a consistent, faithful presence guiding the whole thing.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to really dissect the precision of that battle plan, but also to synthesize why the sources demand we connect this cunning, almost deceptive victory to a theme like unchanging faithfulness.
It's a great paradox.
It is. So let's unpack the chess moves. How did this all start?
Well, Joshua starts early. He gets his main fighting force together and positions them very visibly north of Ai. There's a ravine separating them.
So they're meant to be seen. This is the bait.
Exactly. This is the distraction that the king of Ai is supposed to see and react to.
But the real action, the truly devastating maneuver, is happening somewhere else. Covertly.
Right. Joshua takes 5,000 specially selected men and sets them in a silent ambush, completely out of sight.
And they're positioned to the west of the city, kind of hidden between Bethel and Ai.
Yes. And then comes the initial move, which is it's crucial. Joshua and that main force, the bait, they pretend to be beaten.
They just turn and run.
A full-on feigned retreat. They flee really dramatically toward the wilderness. And the king of Ai, seeing this apparent route, he takes the bait. He hurries out with all his men.
And he's completely unaware that he just left a fresh army hidden right behind his own city walls.
He has no idea.
Yeah.
And here's where you see the brilliance of the deception. It worked perfectly.
The sources really emphasize this, don't they? They say not a man was left in Ai or even in neighboring Bethel who didn't join the chase.
Not a single one. They chase Israel, leaving their city gates completely open. Just undefended. They're essentially inviting disaster.
So that sets the stage for the turning point. And this is where it gets really interesting because the tactical setup was, flawless.
It was. But the activation signal, that wasn't left to human calculation.
That's the critical point, right? If the plan was so perfect, why does the narrative interrupt itself with this direct command?
Yeah, the Lord tells Joshua, stretch out the javelin that is in your hand toward K.
And that was the signal.
That was one singular signal.
Yeah.
It suggests that while all this meticulous human planning was necessary, it wasn't ultimately enough on its own.
So it wasn't just about strategic genius.
No, the victory hinged on instantaneous visible obedience to that one command. The moment that javelin pointed toward the city, the 5,000 men in ambush rise up.
And they just storm the open city.
They storm it, capture it, and immediately set it on fire.
Can you just imagine being the king of Ai? You're out in the field, you're mid-pursuit, you think you're winning, and then you turn back and you see that smoke rising.
It's that moment of total, catastrophic realization. They're trapped.
Instantly, the main force of Israel turns back on them, and the men who just took the city come out to strike them from behind. They are just caught and annihilated.
Which brings us back to that core question. Why is this cunning military deception anchored so tightly to the idea of faithfulness?
It seems like an odd pairing.
Well, the reflection sources give us the answer. Think about our world today. It's so fast-changing. We talk about AI updates, new tech. There's a real human craving for consistency.
There's something that doesn't change.
Exactly. And the narrative argues that God's faithfulness is that ultimate unchanging virtue. The javelin signal is the link. It's perfect human timing meeting perfect divine direction.
So this victory at Ai is it's proof that God is resuming his work and that the promises still hold true even after a pause.
Precisely. It shows that both tactical execution and, spiritual fidelity were required.
So what does this all mean for you listening? When you boil it down, the victory was this combination of meticulous planning
and perfect instantaneous obedience to one very specific command, the stretching out of the javelin.
And the sources encourage us to anchor ourselves in that same kind of unchanging character.
Right. To live in obedience today so that those promises can unfold.
Yeah.
But it often means you have to execute the whole plan while still waiting for the signal.
It really makes you think. If even a decisive, complex military strategy hinged on a single, clear, visible signal, like stretching out a javelin, what small, consistent action today reflects the unchanging commitment you need to follow? Something to consider as you move forward.